Okay, let's scan down this gate here, see what we got. There's one noise signal. Solve this puzzle, and oh, looks like it's a gate cam. Haha, not gonna fall for that. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, well, that's twice as much shame on me. I can't believe I fell for it 3 times. And fool me 4 times, and that's shame back on you, sir. You are picking on a vulnerable person here, and that's just mean and bullying. Fool me 5 times. Hello pilots, and welcome back to another Eve Echoes video. I'm up here in Pure Blind, and I'm going to do a little bit of a mobile gate camp here because I've got a couple of ships that are coming from the other side. So I'm going to get to this next gate, and I'm going to set up my bubble, and hopefully I can get my bubble up in time before the other ship starts his warp. So we'll set up here once our ship stops, get that bubble going. It's about 27 kilometers in distance here, so we should be able to stop him pretty good distance away from the gate if it's not an interceptor. A lot of times this is how I catch the hauling ships or explorers that aren't paying attention. I'll set it up real quick and they won't be able to stop in time. It is kind of a double-edged sword though, because while you can stop enemies from landing next to the gate, you are going to be locked down in this bubble for a long time. So if something big comes through, you're not going to be able to warp away right away, and you can't even go through the gate. So we'll see what ship this is. Hopefully it's not something that we can't take on, and we will try and engage it. Should be about time because I think the amount of warp time it takes to get here. Okay, there it is. Okay, we got an Omen. This is a ship that we want to engage. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, just an Omen Navy issue. Should be pretty simple. We'll begin our approach. Try to lock him down. If we can get within web range, we can stop him from burning towards the gate. But we do have another +1 in local here, so we'll have to watch out for that. I do have a little bit of a different fit here with a large neutralizer, but it doesn't look like he's trying to get towards the gate, and we're going to finish him off real quick. So while I was watching the local list spike there, I finished off his ship without even seeing him go down. Not a lot of strategy to that, just a quick little kill here. It looks like he was just hauling some PI. Oh, we got another ship here. This is a Wreath 2. It's a transport ship, but I am kind of far off the gate, and yeah, it looks like he's going to cloak up. We do have another +1 in local, so we'll move our way back towards the gate. Not sure if I want to use my bubble here or not, but I also don't want to lose another hauler ship. I don't think they've been able to catch up to me yet. So we'll finish off this pod. They probably haven't had any intel in Alliance chat to let anybody know that I'm coming. So we could catch another unsuspecting player right here. We'll get in a little bit better position, but we don't know which gate they're coming through. They could be coming through one of the other ones and not passing through this gate at all. And we're just wasting our time. But we'll set up again, see if we can catch it. Oh, we got another +1 here. Oh, okay, another plus. Okay, I think it's time to just take off here. I don't want to get overwhelmed. This is when you know you might be in a bad situation and you don't want to be swarmed here. Let's just go ahead and approach something in the distance here. Turn off our bubble. And I think it's probably just safer at this point to take off. Even though we don't know what ships are coming through, this is kind of close to one of their home bases. So I don't want to get overwhelmed sitting on a gate here. Okay, yeah, Bellicose 3. Let's just take off here. Bellicose Covert Ops. Alright, so I'll just take the kill, and I'll save the death. See if we can live to fight another day here. While we warp off, we can check out that kill mail because we're going towards a planet. And open it up here. Just a simple 106 million. Nothing too special about that Omen Navy. Alright, let's move on. A little bit deeper into SHH territory here. I am using a little bit different fit. You'll notice I have a large newt, large shield extender, and a mod that will increase my range. Now I have the GU equipped to increase my base range on my weapons, and the idea is for me to be able to orbit around 25 kilometers and stay out of Annihilator or Vindicator web range. That's kind of why I equipped that mod in the low slots, to stay out of that web range. Yeah, but it does look like we're going to engage an Ashimmu here on the gate, and that's going to be a problem because they have 27 to 28 kilometer web range, and my large newt is probably not going to do a lot to him. We'll start our orbit, and we'll get off some good shots here with the double heat sinks activated. Just want to apply as much DPS to him as possible, and we don't want this fight to drag on. The longer the fight is going to go on, the more he's going to be able to take advantage of that Nosferatu drain that they have. even though he actually has 2 webs and 2 tracking disruptors, so he's not even using a Nosferatu. Let me see what my range is at. No, it's still 20 kilometer optimal, so he must be using the speed tracking GU, and that's going to make it a little bit more difficult to hit him with strong hits because I'm orbiting so fast. I'll activate my Dragon Chant here to get rid of those webs so that I can get my speed back up and maybe he can miss a few shots. That's going to give us a temporary DPS boost, but we are hitting the edge of our optimal now, so I might want to come back in around 25. Yeah, we're out here at 30 kilometers. Let's come back in around 25 and see if we can put some more pressure on him. He doesn't have NOS, so he's not going to be built to last for a long time, but he did get both of those webs back on us, and that, honestly, that was probably a mistake. Coming back to within the web range of the Ashimmu is going to give him plenty of tracking on us. We are down halfway into our armor with no Dragon Chant. I don't think the large nude is going to do anything, and yeah. We can't get away. Bubble's not turning off. This is horrible. I should not have come back into the Ashimmu's web range because that is exactly where they wanted me to be. Darn. Okay, we're going down here. We'll try and put up as much DPS as we can, but yeah, we're just not able to get outside of his webs once he has us grabbed. So good fight to Fell Sharon. I think I could have had that if I would have just approached and just done full-on straightaway DPS, because I don't think he was going to have enough defense to overcome my offense. But that's one of those things where you just don't really know what you're going to fight when you engage, and sometimes you get caught up in the heat of the moment and you can't make those adjustments. If you do want to see his perspective, I'm going to put a link in my description to his YouTube video. He did film this fight from the Ashimmu perspective, so you can kind of get an idea of what it looked like with me engaging him from that. Okay, let's rebuild back in Jita and head out with a different fit. Alright, I am back in my Battleship hunting fit, and we've got a Dominic's Navy issue here. We're going to warp to see if we can catch him before he warps off. I haven't had a whole lot of success catching up to battleships before they warp off lately. You probably saw a lot of that in my last video, but we'll try and catch this one anyway. This is a low populated system right now, so not a whole lot of risk warping in and seeing what we can find. We do want to be very careful though and make sure he's using those long range, low tracking speed drones as soon as we land. If he's using really fast tracking speed drones, we're probably going to warp out as soon as we can, because those are going to be able to hit us really well. Okay, so we'll land here, and it looks like he's using the sniper pulse sentries, so those are going to be hard to hit us from a distance. We should be able to orbit him really good. Let's turn on our afterburner, get a little bit closer before we turn on our warp bubble. Just in case he warps away, we might be able to catch him at the Citadel. Okay, it looks like we're doing pretty good here. We'll turn it on now, and as soon as he's within that 27 kilometer range, we should be good to go. Let's get him targeted, not the drone. He's already halfway through his armor, but he is at full shield. Let's turn on both of our heat sinks, get our NOS going, and we will start our orbit and see if we can take this guy down. So it looks like his drones are pretty far away from him here. He's not going to be able to recall them because of the long range distance, unless maybe he has a little bit of a recall range boost from using the Aerospace Tactics implant. I think that one gives you a boost to the range in which you can recall your drones. But these are about 17 kilometers away. We're going to watch him, make sure he doesn't lock onto us, and make sure that those drones stay out there. I don't want to kill these drones because these ones aren't going to have an easy time tracking us anyway, and it looks like they're probably going to be pretty valuable if we can get this ship to drop. Now, if he's really desperate and he comes back to his computer here, it looks like he was AI ratting because he's not locking us back yet. But if he gets really desperate, he can always destroy his drones that are out right now and just release some faster drones that he might have in his cargo bay. So we'll just pay really close attention to what's out on the field here, what's attacking. He's still got those sniper pulses. We're about halfway through his shields, but we're not applying a whole lot of DPS. Not sure what his fit is. Maybe he's shield fit, but man, it has taken a long time to get through his shield, especially because we're doing EM damage. I'm surprised we're not able to break through it better. I'm about 86% on my implant, 89, so I'm fully charged on my focus crystal implant here. This is max DPS. Should be doing around 2100 without the heat sinks online. Tighten up our orbit a little bit, see if we can apply a little bit better. Optimal range is 16, so we'll come in a little bit closer. And usually Dominic's are armor fit, so it'll be interesting to see how much we do to his armor once we get here. Yeah, still doing about the same, so it doesn't look like he's really fit to tank at all. because he's taking the same amount of damage in his shields as he is in his armor. We do have some debuffs on us here. We got Newt, Nos, and Tracking Disruptor, but those are probably coming from the NPC rats. So I'm not too worried about that because their effects are going to be less than if a player was attacking. Let's really try to apply the DPS here. We're going to turn off our Afterburner. We're going to go set up a straight approach. Just make sure we are right in our optimal range. We're not going to move at all, and I just want to burst him down. Once we get into his hull, we can turn on that Dragon Chant and really apply full DPS. Just want to take him out before anyone enters local and before he wakes up. Yeah, so he's taking a lot more hits into his hull here. Actually very surprisingly tanky, considering I don't think he's built a tank at all. But these Navy battleships just have so much EHP. Okay, a couple more shots here. Yep, still not locking back to us, so definitely an AI Ratter, and we will take that kill. Very nice little AFK kill there. Let's pick up his loot, see what he had. Ah, yes, salvage drone too. Very nice. Ah, nice loot on that one. You know, people always say, do you feel bad for killing AI Ratters or AFK ships? No, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad at all because they should know better at this point. If somebody is willing to AFK fight with their ship and 5 billion in loot and drones on them, then they kind of get what they deserve, in my opinion. Let's open up this kill mail, see what we got in total. Ah, okay, very nice, 14.6 billion. Let's check out the fit a little bit. Yeah, he had shield hardeners, so he was definitely shield tanked. That's why we were doing the same amount of damage in his shield and his armor. And we will take that, almost 3 billion in total loot from those expensive drones. Very nice. Okay, I will find an NPC station to drop those off at for safekeeping, and we will keep on roaming. Scanning down our next target here, it is going to reveal a Rorqual. Now, I don't plan on trying to stick around in a populated system to take out a Rorqual, because even if it isn't defensive fit at all, it's still going to take forever and a day. So we'll just do what we can to disrupt their activities. This system in this area, I believe, is one of the ones where I lost a battleship recently to a Visaggio or other some kind of capital ship. So we're going to get a little bit of revenge and be a little bit of pettiness within us. But we'll see if we can catch it. Some of these I know have been able to warp off pretty quick. But he is still here. Okay. Belt is almost completely mined out, but his drones are still out, so that means he hasn't started his warp away yet. We will put our bubble on him and engage in a little bit of fiendish behavior by taking out these ore heavy exhumer drones. Now, I may not be able to take out the ship itself, but we're going to see how many of these drones I can take out because they are worth quite a bit on the market right now. So we'll start on the first one here. He's going to have to recall them. We'll see if he's paying attention or just trying to warp away. There's one drone down. We'll start on the next one here. I think I have to lock up one more of these drones. They usually have about 5 of them. Let's see if we can find it on the overview here. It's a little crowded. There we go. We've got 3 more locked up. Let's see if we can take out another one. That's 2 drones down. Still no response from anybody in local here. Let's see if we can take down 3. Get that last one locked up here. Let's see if we can take out all 5. Getting revenge for our annihilator loss here. That's 3 drones. That's already going to cover the entire loss. Okay, there we go. So he pulled his drones back. Let's go ahead and turn off our bubble and warp off, and our fun is over for now. I'm sure this player can completely afford to replace those drones, but for now, our vengeance has been delivered. All right, next scan here. We're going to get through this. Oh, we got 2 orcas. Very nice. Okay, let's see if we can warp to them real quick. Hopefully at least one of them is not paying attention and warps off a little slow, especially if they're using that beaver mod. I know it takes a lot of time to turn that down, that cycle has to finish all the way. So it's kind of like a warp disruption bubble where when you click it to turn it off, it takes a little bit of time to wind down. Okay, and we know that both of those players in local are going to be the Orca, so we don't have to worry about warp ins as well. So if we can catch them here, we should be uncontested to take them out. Kind of a far away asteroid belt, so that's going to take a lot of time. Okay, no. Either they cloaked up or they warped off. We will open up our scanner real quick and just see if he happened to cloak up. I know some of them are still running the cloak in the low slots. We'll approach that last scan. It's only about 26 kilometers away. We'll approach it at 0 and see if we can bump into him. Put our drone out just in case the orbit uncloaks them as well. But yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be cloaked up. So the second option that we have, because we know this local list is pretty empty, we can set up a log-off trap on the Citadel and see if we can catch these guys after a little bit of a log-off timer. See if we can catch them before they warp back to the Citadel with our bubble. Now, ideally, you want to be a little bit of ways off the Citadel, anywhere from 50 to 100 kilometers if you can, just because you don't want them to be able to push through your bubble and get to the docking location. But for right now, I just happen to warp to the Citadel straight away. So we will be a little bit too close, but 27 kilometers on a slow-moving Orca without a speed boost might be enough. Okay, let's spin it around here. Should be landing pretty soon. There we go. Okay, so both ships look like they've docked up. So we'll go ahead and wait for our ship to stop moving, and we'll just go ahead and quit. We're going to log out so we don't have a combat timer. These are the kind of things that I'm having to resort to now because everybody seems to be warping away and docking up as soon as I enter local. And they have such a fast warp away time that this is kind of the only way that we're going to be able to catch them. Okay, so our ship will warp off here and we will come back in about 10 minutes.
A few inches later.
Okay, we are logging back into our ship here and we're going to end up warping right back to the spot that we logged off at. So if we can get that bubble up before the Orcas warp off from their asteroid belts, we should be able to catch them. So we can see they're still both in local. Not sure if they're undocked yet or not, but we will throw up that bubble just in case they are because we don't have time to check. So we'll put up that bubble here as soon as we land. A little bit longer time than I want. Okay, bubble up, and we should be in line with the last asteroid belt that they were at. So if they go back to that same asteroid belt, they're going to have to pass through this in a direct spot. We'll scan down real quick just to see if they're out there. And we did get a scan result, but they warped off. So we know that they're in the system undocked. 27 kilometer bubble should be enough to keep an Orca from docking up, but we'll see if we can even catch them. Ideally, this is something you want to do with a very low populated system because then nobody's going to be in the Citadel able to tackle you from inside. But we will see if we can catch it. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Yes, 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 yes. No, no, no.
We didn't get the bubble off in time, and he was able to warp before we engaged our bubble, and the other Orca came from a different belt as well. So they're going to be able to freely dock here as soon as their ship starts moving, and we're not going to be able to tackle them regardless. Well, we gave it a shot. Okay, let's move on. Next target on the scan results here over in Aquarius, we've got a Noctis 2. Okay, let's try and warp to it as soon as we can. A lot of the times they're just picking up loot from an anomaly. It doesn't look like there's another ship in the anomaly, but there is a Visaggio in the system. So that's good intel to have. We got to be prepared for that Visaggio to come. That might have been the ship that cleared out. Doesn't look like there's anybody else undocked, but that Visaggio might have been the ship that cleared out the instance for the Noctis 2 to come and loot. So we will be real quick and careful. We should be able to take down that Noctis real quick if we can trap it, but we'll see how he reacts once we land on grid here. Okay, Noctis 2 still here. We do have some boxes. Not sure if they're opened yet or not because they're not going to show up for us. And he's just kind of sitting there about 48 kilometers, so not quite close enough. We'll put on our bubble and we'll move towards him. He's going to cloak up. Okay. We will try to move towards the area that we last saw him, but Noctis 2 is going to be a little bit faster than something like an Orca while cloaked. And because we were about 40 kilometers off, I think we're going to be just too far away to catch up to the location he was at to get within 2 kilometers. We can start heading towards the box that he looked like he was going for, and maybe we'll bump him on the way. At the very least, if we can't catch the Noctis 2, we can check the boxes and see if there's anything decent in it before we warp away. Although purple encounters don't really drop very good items.
Oh, no! Not you again! I've dealt with this 3 times this week already.
Yep, there's the Visaggio dropping. Okay, we gotta move out of here real quick. Let's just align to anything that we can in the distance. Let's hit our afterburner and just go fast as we can towards that target. We'll turn off our bubble, but it just started a new cycle, so we're gonna have a long time here. He's locking us, so we'll hit the Dragon Chant, but that's also gonna prevent us from warping away from 30 seconds. So we're really gonna have to pull away and get some good distance. Hopefully our afterburner can propel us faster than his drones or fighters can reach. So far so good, but never know if they're going to have a speed module that can allow them to catch up. You can see those zeros, so he's not able to track us from this distance. Come on, come on, come on. Still waiting on that warp timer. Warp, warp, warp. Yep, external factors because of that Dragon Chant. Okay, come on. Warp, warp, warp. There we go. Woo! Okay. Another close call with a capital ship, but luckily we survived. And good thing I wasn't in my battleship on that encounter, or I wouldn't have made it. So, all right, well, we live to fight another day. Let's keep roaming. All right, I am back up in Null trying to catch those fast warp away ships. This time it's an APOC Navy issue. I am a little bit of ways off the gate now, so he shouldn't be able to get to the, not the gate, the station. I'm a little bit of ways off the station, so he shouldn't be able to get there even if he runs into my bubble and tries to power through. We'll scan down and see if he's still out there. Yeah, APOC Navy. So the fact that I scanned him and he still showed up on the scan means he hasn't started his warp away yet. I'll do a little bit of an approach here, just in case we need to get a little bit closer in line. But I think the fact that I scanned him down means he hasn't started his warp, so I should be able to catch him as long as I'm in line with the anomaly that he was last in. Okay, still keep approaching here. Oh, there he is, okay. Okay. Strike one. Let's try this again, and I am a lot better set up here, so I should be directly in line with the anomaly that he's coming from. The only question is, did I get my bubble off in time? So we'll wait here and see if he shows up. We are a little bit off the gate. Okay, here he is. Okay, approach a little bit in the distance here, and oh gosh, okay. Strike two. This time I'm logging in after about half an hour of waiting just to see if maybe more ships can show up. We are right next to the Citadel, and we got a lot more people in local, so there's 9 people in local here. Not sure if I want to turn on my bubble yet, but as you can see, there's a coveter sitting right outside of this station. So as soon as we land, even though it's on the other side, the opposite side of the Citadel, we will go ahead and approach it and see if we can catch it before he docks up. Maybe he's AFK or not paying attention. Okay, Noctis 2. There's another one coming. Oh, more coveters. Okay. The whole party's coming. All right, let's see if we can get over to them before they dock up. Oh, yep. Looks like everybody's docking up now that they see me coming in local. And another ship. Okay. I think that's 5 ships total, all docked up. We'll see if we can catch one of them, but it's going to be kind of hard to get over there. Not really a point. Let's throw our bubble on just in case they try to warp away. I don't think that'll stop them from docking up. Okay, we got one that we're locking up here. I don't have a scramble or a disruptor, just the warp bubble, but I don't think that'll prevent them from docking up. We'll throw on full DPS just in case somebody else comes in. We want to take this out as fast as possible. It is just a coveter 2, but I have been doing this for so long now, I need to have some kind of results. Putting out some really good DPS here, using our approach. Should be one more shot. And there we go. Okay, we got one ship out of this. I'm not going to go in and try and loot this. I think I'm just going to turn off my disruptor, my warp bubble here, and try and get out. I don't like fighting next to the station, especially because about 5 ships just docked up, so they might be able to tackle me from inside if they take control. And then if something else pops out, like undocks like a carrier or something, then they'll take me out in one shot. So we'll just approach in the distance, see if anything else lands or undocks that we can take advantage of, but I don't want to have my bubble on just in case. If nothing else comes up, I can warp back to that loot and grab it just for fun. But this is a lot safer feeling when you're approaching like a planet in the distance, because then you can warp immediately. Oh, okay, there's the Visaggio drop, and that's what I was a little bit worried about. I'll continue to approach because I'm not sure if he's going to dock up or if he's going to lock on. Let's watch real close. Okay, yep, he's yellow boxing us here, so let's warp off. And we're safe. Okay, so that was a good, nice, safe encounter, and we got a little something out of it. We can check the kill mail and see how much that coveter 2 was worth. Okay, let's open it up here now that we are safe. And yeah, it looks like we got about $1 billion on the coveter 2. Not too bad for a simple little mining ship kill. And now that the system is spiking up, I think it's time for us to just move on. Maybe we'll come back to this area a little bit later, or maybe next week. Who knows? Okay, for this last encounter, I got a tip from a friend that 7 systems from Jita over in Losec, there is an APOC Navy ratting. So I'm going to go ahead and give away my warp disruption bubble and throw on a second disruptor and hope that 4 points is going to be enough to hold this thing. There he is, APOC Navy. Let's go ahead and warp in at about 80 kilometers. I'm not sure if he's going to be fighting at long range or close up. And I'm also not sure about how the warp mechanic works in Losec. Can I warp to him from 150 or not? I'm not 100% sure because I haven't really hunted a lot in Losec. I'll set up my getaway there on an autopilot just in case something goes wrong. And I do have some warp stability, so I don't think if it's a trap, he should be able to hold me down. Okay, so it looks like he's warped off. We will check the other player in the system here. Let's head towards one of the stations just in case. And we'll open up our scanner and try and see if we can catch that other player. Now, you never know when it's going to be a trap. Somebody's setting something up to try and warp it on you. So we're going to double scan here. And yeah, we got the Naga. Okay, I'm pretty comfortable taking on a regular Naga. If it was a Naga 2 or a Naga 3, I would be a little bit more worried about a trap. But I think just a low-level Naga shouldn't be too difficult to take out, even if the APOC Navy warps over to him. Even if they have a trap set up on the other side of the gate, I should be able to take away that ship real quick and warp off. So we will warp in here to the Naga, see if we can catch him before he takes off as well. Okay, yeah, looks like he docked up as well. But both players are still in the system, so we will dock up and we will wait it out and see if we can come back a little bit later and catch him. Now, I don't have to wait a whole long time. Like, I don't have to log off for this one. Especially don't want to log off because I want my scan result to stay. Both of those ships look like they're running encounters or missions in this system, and they're not running regular anomalies. So since I've already scanned down the location of their mission, I want to save that. So I'll dock up for a little bit and give it some time and come back and check those scans and see if they've reappeared. Okay, now after waiting a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and recheck those scans. We'll start with the Naga because that one was actively ratting when we warped in on him. And we'll see if we can warp to the Naga's encounter and check it out. The APOC's encounter was still empty, so not sure if he's coming back or not, but it does look like he's online sitting in a station most likely. So we'll check out the Naga's encounter and see if he showed up. Okay, yep, looks like the Naga is there. Let's see about how far off he is. Not far enough away to warp, so we will go ahead and approach. We'll see if he's paying attention, but that is a long way to fly, even at 3.6 kilometers a second. Yeah, he's gonna warp off. Okay, well, we missed out on the Naga. He's warping to a gate, and I don't really want to follow him to a gate and give him more intel on my ship or anything, so we'll check out that APOC Navy scan that we still have in the system, warp in at about 50 kilometers, and see if he has undocked and come back to his encounter. A lot of this is a waiting game, but it's good that I've saved both scan results so I can kind of hop back and forth, and I know exactly what they're going to try and accomplish. They're not going to be going between different anomalies or different mining belts like those Orcas that we saw earlier. We know they're specifically going to these missions. So it looks like the APOC Navy hasn't come back to this encounter yet, but what I'm going to do is instead of waiting for him to come and then warping to him, I'm just going to orbit around about the center of this anomaly and wait for him to land. That way it gives us a little bit more time to catch up to him and grab him before he can warp off. If we let him come back to this encounter, he's going to start approaching the Citadel and have a quick warp away time. But if we're here when he comes, then he's going to have to turn all the way around in order to get back to his destination. Perfect. Our patience has paid off, and we will start approaching him. Let's see how close he gets to the center of this anomaly. Not too far off. We might be able to catch him with our afterburner. Let's make sure we're approaching him specifically. And we got to get within about 27 kilometers for our disruptors to grab him. We'll start orbiting from a distance just so we can get that 15 kilometer orbit before he can catch us. And we got both disruptors on him. Okay, so let's hope 15 kilometers is enough to stay out of range of anything he has. Hopefully he doesn't have any large newt that'll drain us out. And let's hope that 4 points of disruption is going to be enough to hold him. I'll have to continually watch local just in case he has friends coming, because this could be a trap. I'm always worried about traps when you're fighting in low sec. He is locking us back, so he's definitely actively playing. And we're going through his shields really good. Unfortunately, APOC navies are probably going to be armor tanks, so he's going to take a lot less damage once we get into armor, and our lasers aren't going to apply as well. But with double heat sinks active and Dragon Chant active now, I am putting in some good DPS to him. We'll see if he has any tank, and we'll see how his capacitor holds up compared to mine. One of the reasons I run that large NOS is to counteract any large newts, and if he's repairing a lot, he's going to be draining his cap while I'm going to be able to maintain mine. Okay, Dragon Chant is almost over. Looks like he's relocked back onto us, but I don't think he's going to have a chance of hitting us with those large lasers. It's just going to be way too hard, whether he's trying to fight up close or long range, to be hitting us at our orbit speed of 3,300 ms. This is usually why I don't waste a slot on a tracking disruptor, and I just throw in either an extra disruptor or that large NOS in its place, because I also don't want to waste the capacitor that it takes to run the tracking disruptor. So this is definitely a much tankier APOC Navy issue than I've ever fought. Most of the time they are glass cannon fit, fighting at about 100 kilometers, but this guy is not going down. No matter what I do with double heat sinks and about 2100 passive DPS, I'm not able to break through his armor here. Now, I'm not too worried about running out of capacitor myself, because it's most likely he has more than me. But if he's not going to run out of capacitor either, we could just be at a standstill, and it'll be up to who can call allies first to win this fight. Okay, I'm still checking local to see if there's anybody in his corporation or alliance that's going to show up, but I don't think that he has anybody in the alliance, so that should be a little bit better, a little bit less worrisome. Okay, another -1 there. We still have the Naga in the system, so it could be that he's trying to bait. You can see I have 2700 DPS going now with my full focus charge implant going. He pops an extender, so he's back to full armor for a temporary little bit. I'm not going to break through that at all, but that is going to cost him capacitor for running that large extender. Or maybe that was his implant. That could have been his focus charge, his focus crystal implant ability that he popped right there to buy himself some extra time. We'll see when it wears off. Yeah, he's still way back at full armor. He probably repaired while we were hitting that shield. And it does look like I'm not going to be able to take this thing down myself. So I think it's time to call in a little backup.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
So the first person I'm calling in is Crazy Dutchman. This is actually the player that let me know that there was an APOC Navy ratting in this system. We'll go ahead and fleet up Crazy Dutchman and see if he can help us take out this APOC Navy. All we need is a little bit more DPS, and I think we can break through his tank. Also, now that I'm in a corporation, I went ahead and pinged my alliance and my corporation on their Discord to try and get some more help as well. This is only 7 jumps from Jita, so it should be pretty easy for someone to log on and warp to us real quick. The other positive is that it looks like that Naga has left the system, so they weren't working together, but I'm still not able to break through this guy's tank. You can see I'm sitting steady at about 50% capacitor, but we are definitely going to need some more DPS to finish this off. Double heat sinks, Dragon Chant, it doesn't matter. I'm not breaking through this thing. It's been so long since I've done a proper fleet fight, especially leading a fleet, that I'm having a little bit of trouble navigating the commands here. I'm hoping that Crazy Dutchman just can go ahead and warp to me. I'm not sure what ship he's flying or what ship he's going to choose to use for this. I'm hoping it's something small that can just orbit at a good distance and not take any hits, similar to my Fiend. But we'll see if he brings some heavy DPS like a battleship as well. Again, I have to say, I have never met an APOC Navy that's this tanky. Not sure what fit he's using, but if we can get this kill, we can definitely check it out. He has no chance of hitting me at all, so I do believe he started targeting my drones and took one out, but at this point, the drone DPS is not really worth it to me anyway, so I'm not too worried about him taking out my drones. Definitely one of the longest engagements I've ever had, and I just can't shake that feeling in the back of my mind because we're so close to Jita that one of his friends is going to come over and try and help out. So I'm constantly watching local to see who warps through. I'm hoping that someone can warp in here and assist, whether it's Crazy Dutchman or some of my corp that comes in. We're definitely going to need some help. Okay, it looks like we got one corp member here, Phantom Pilot. Let's go ahead and give him an invite. Okay, invite sent. Let's see if we can get him in the group to warp to us. Again, I was struggling with the fleet command, so I don't think I saw him talking in corp chat. Okay, he is in the system, and okay, Crazy Dutchman has landed. He's in a Nightmare. That's an interesting choice for this fight. He's about 113 kilometers off, so hopefully this APOC Navy is using Pulse and not Beam so that he can hit him. But it looks like Crazy Dutchman is coming in closer, so he probably has some close-up weapons as well. Let's take a look and see what he's running with, if we can see what kind of weapon types he has. Yeah, it looks like he's got some E-War or something on Crazy Dutchman, not sure. Or that could be the other way around. Again, I'm having a hard time navigating the chat here. We'll send him another invite, put him in Squad 1. Okay, post up our fleet in alliance and make sure everybody is aware. Okay, that red dot there means somebody has applied to the fleet. Let's go ahead and accept that. There we go. Not sure why my invite wasn't going through, but looks like we got him in here. There's another invite. Let's take it. Zombie. Okay, so we know help is on the way.
Located here.
Not sure how much damage how much damage Crazy Dutchman's Nightmare is taking here. What we can do is go into the fleet menu and set him as followed and see, but there's not much that we're going to be able to do anyway because we don't have any Logi set up to help. He is flying his Nightmare in real close, so it looks like he's short range weapons, and the Prophecy is going to land here a little bit far away, about 160 kilometers. This will be one of the few times where I have to actually block out my chat in the lower left there, just because we had some discussion about whether or not we should take this player out. Somebody may have known them or something, but yeah, we'll just go ahead and block that out for privacy reasons. Usually I'm fighting solo or in a small group, so that doesn't really matter. But we have to take in Alliance chat into consideration for this fight. Looks like we were able to break into his armor a little bit more than I was earlier, about 3/4 of his armor now. Not sure how Crazy Dutchman is doing. Let's go ahead and open up our fleet commands and see if we can set him as followed. And that way we can see, yeah, right there, squad. Scroll down. We'll set the Prophecy as followed and Crazy Dutchman as followed. So we got Phantom up there, and oh, looks like he is taking a lot of damage. Crazy Dutchman, what are you doing? Warp out, warp out. I did mention to fight this guy at range, but it looks like he's not going to be able to warp away. Oh, don't lose the Nightmare. Oh, okay, that's disappointing. Well, we're back to square one here. We got the Prophecy at long range. Melkor is going to be added to the red status because he had killed a ship. So he can't warp off to station or gate at this point, or he'll blow up. And we still got double points on him with plenty of capacitor. So I'm not worried about the hold here. I'm just waiting for more allies to arrive. Let's fast forward this fight a little bit until we can get some help. All right, looks like we've got an APOC Striker landing here in the fleet. That should help out a lot more on the DPS to take this thing out. Still holding strong on our tackle. Looks like 4 points was enough to hold this ship in place. Not too bad of a warp in from that APOC Striker in Corp. We'll see how far away he needs to be fighting. Not sure if he's long distance or close up. Hopefully long distance, because I think that the APOC Navy we have tackled is a close-up fit. That's why he was able to apply so much DPS to that Nightmare. Okay, so we're doing pretty good here. Again, man, just really struggling to break through his tank, even with another battleship fighting. Let's throw on that Dragon Chance since it popped up. He's not targeting us, but that's okay. We need whatever DPS we can manage. +1 on local, but that's just looks like a normal player. No Corp, no Alliance, so not coming to help. Okay, we got another ship landing here. Looks like another APOC. And at this point, we should be able to break through this Navy battleship's tank. Yeah, so we got him under 3/4 for the first time. I'm not doing a lot of DPS at all, so he's definitely activated some kind of damage control. Doing about half of our DPS, half of our damage per hit. Okay, there it goes, shoots back up. So definitely a DCU was activated. Hitting him for about 1300 now. Not too bad, about 50% into his armor. We'll set the other APOC that landed as followed as well, just so we can kind of keep track of their health to see if anybody else gets attacked. Definitely under 50% armor now, so we are wearing him down over time. Man, this is one of the longest engagements I have ever had, and it really just shows you how tanky these Navy ships can be if they fit for tank. Another way for us to know that this is a close-up pulse laser APOC is because he is fit for tank, because if you're fighting at range, you really don't need that much defense. Alright, definitely getting him down here. As soon as he hits hull, he's definitely going to crumble. Not sure if he has any more charge from his focus crystal. Our teammates are looking good, not taking any damage, and yep, here he goes. Crumble, crumble. Into hull, we're doing a lot more damage in hull. And...
Confess!
Alright, finally took him out. Okay, didn't get the kill on that. Let's go ahead and, yeah, give him a good fight in local, because that was, what a beast that APOC was. Let's check out the kill mail and see what he was running with. Looks like large pulse lasers up top, 9.4 billion in value. Definitely tanky with 2 large armor repairs and full mid slots of status webifiers. Wow, what a fight, and congratulations to Elsa on that kill mail. Alright, that'll wrap it up for this video. One thing I do want to touch on before I go is that I have found some new inspiration to keep me undocking in this game, and that is coming from the new website finalblow.me. Now, there was always kind of a log that kept track of your kills and losses by posting your kill mails to one of the Discord bots from Moby, and that was great. That can keep track of your, what they call it, the snuggly rating, how dangerous you are compared to how snuggly you are. And I kind of kept track of that for the most part for myself, but you know, I still experimented and lost a lot of kills from just kind of goofing around. But now that this finalblow.me website has me looking at the solo kills, I do want to try harder to work on my solo ranking and see if I can bring that number down. Currently, I think I'm ranked about 350, and I'd like to reach the top 100 at some point. So this is kind of giving me new inspiration to take my ships out there, maybe be a little bit more careful, a little bit more picky and choosy of my fights, and maybe use a little bit of cheaper ships in general, because this is tracked based on your ISK loss compared to the ISK that you've killed. So if I use a smaller, cheaper ship to kill something bigger, then this could help my rating and bring me down to that top 100 spot that I want to shoot for. So if you're interested, you want to track along my progress with me, you can always go to that finalblow.me website, search up Growmeyer, and you'll see my name pulled up automatically. All my kills and losses are going to be automatically uploaded there. If you don't want any spoilers, maybe don't check out the kill mails before the videos come out. But other than that, I mean, if you want to follow along with me, if you want to register yourself and see how you compare, go ahead and just log in, sync your character in-game to your Final Blow account, and you should be good to go. So hopefully we'll meet each other out there in space as well. That'll wrap it up for this video. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to me for more content, and follow along with me on Final Blow to see how I progress on my rankings. Leave a comment if you enjoyed anything, have any questions or concerns, let me know. Until then, fly safe and have fun.